Destination for the day's best sports shows. Tune in for the biggest personalities on their biggest stories, and don't miss us on The Herd weekdays at 12 Eastern. Catch it all right here Monday through Friday on FS1.
You might not be able to get a new car with your tax refund, but you can't make your car feel like it's brand new. All it needs is a great paint job. Come into Mako today. Get your dream paint job during their tax season sales event. He is a former Pro Bowler. He played 11 seasons in the NFL, and he's got one of the great personal stories of all time to make it to the league. He's TJ Houshmandzadeh. He joins us here in The Herd, along with Joy Taylor. I'm Doug Gottlieb. TJ, I want to start with the Patriots. The over-unders came out for the National Football League, right? That's the all right, do you think a team's going to win more or less than this? And the team with the highest over-under, 11 wins, is the New England Patriots. And factor in that, yes, they just won the Super Bowl, but they didn't have home field advantage throughout. And they lost their starting left tackle, Gronk retired, and they lost Trey Flowers as well. And Tom Brady is a year older. Am I wrong to think, and they lost not only a defensive coordinator, they actually lost two. Flores is gone, and then Greg Schiano suddenly up and left the team after a couple months on the job. Am I wrong to think we're buying into New England, we have no idea what they're going to throw out there?
It's every year, right? As long as, for me, as long as number 12 is under center, it doesn't matter. Gronk was hit or miss throughout the season, showed up in the playoffs. But for me, as long as they have Tom Brady on that team, they always have a chance. That for me, that over-under is about right.
Yeah, I think the problem with it to me is we're forgetting that Tom Brady was not great, was maybe not even good at the end of last season. And he's not alone. You know, you look at the Chargers and Phillip Rivers late in the season, he had some arm strength issues. Drew Brees, even playing in a dome, he had some arm strength. Like the older quarterbacks really struggled coming down the stretch last month and a half.
They have a ton of draft picks. They're going to find guys in a draft that, one, will help them, that will contribute, and they always find a way. Until the season starts, they're going to have to show me, like they did last year, where they didn't look like they were playing well, and so I picked against them. They're going to have to show me that before I pick against them.
Tom Brady threw for 3,100 yards last year, right? Like it was not. Thing is like
it's not great for Brady for sure.
No, and in this NFL it's not. And then you look at his production at the end of the season. Remember his last, he struggled against Pittsburgh. He struggled against Buffalo. He did have four. Then he had 4 touchdown passes against the Jets.
But he made plays when he had to. You go back to the Kansas City game, that throw down the sideline to Gronk with Eric Berry covering him.
Yes,
great throw.
No,
same thing against the Rams with Gronk down the seam. Great throw. So he made plays when needed.
But he also threw 2 and what would have been 3 interceptions if D4 didn't line up offside. Like we do. Like we only remember the end of the movie. We don't remember any of the meat of it. And the meat of it is Brady is not the same Brady.
The meat of it was they won. And so he touches the ball every snap. And so you can't, they've earned enough respect to where if you say they're going to win 13 games, okay, they got to prove to me that they can't.
This reminds me, we'll get to LeBron in a second. This reminds me of LeBron that had the 48.5 was their win total. We'll see how that worked out. See how that worked out in Vegas. I want to ask you about the Khalil Mack trade. When it happened, I was the only guy seemingly saying, I love it for the Raiders. It wasn't just trading away Khalil Mack. It was he wanted a huge deal. And they didn't get one. They got 2 first-round picks that everyone said, you'll never get 2 first-round picks for a defensive player. Never going to happen. Then he gets 2 first-round picks, and people continue to make fun of John Gruden like he's a complete idiot. He knew he didn't have a good team, and he got 3 first-round picks for 2 players who are good, but 2 players who wanted to get paid, and he wasn't willing to pay them what the going rate was, actually above going rate for Khalil Mack. Now the Sloan Analytics Conference came out and gave 1 award for the transaction of the year, and it was to him. And Gruden finally talked about the trade, and he said, here's the quote. If we did come up with the money to make the Mack contract happen last year, we wouldn't have had any of these men we're talking about right now. We wouldn't have had those 3 first-round picks we're talking about. Like, he goes through, look at the guys. So, in hindsight, and we don't know who they're going to draft, did John Gruden win that trade?
Oh, yeah. When you can get Antonio Brown, Trent Brown, LaMarcus Joyner, Burfict, Tyrell Williams, of course you won it. I would prefer those players over just Khalil Mack, me personally. And you add in the first-round picks. But he could have still signed Khalil Mack and added one or two of those players had they chosen to do so.
They didn't have any money. Khalil Mack's got $90 million. There's not always money.
Yes, there is. You can get around this salary cap. That's an excuse that the front office people, we don't have enough money. Oh, everybody's operating under the same set of rules. You have enough money. It's just a matter of, do you want to spend it on this guy? And they just choose not to do it. That's what goes on the majority of the time. But I will say, the first-round picks, they got 2 for Khalil Mack and all these guys in free agency.
Yes.
It's not even close that the Raiders won this. Not close.
Ben Roethlisberger and Joy reported this as part of the news. It appears that he's going to cancel his weekly radio show, a radio appearance. Good move or bad move?
I believe that's a smart move on his behalf. If he's not able to filter himself, if he can't do that to himself, then it's a smart move. I had a radio show in Cincinnati for 4 or 5 years, did it once a week. And obviously I'm not being asked the questions that Ben's being asked, but you just have to say a bunch of things without saying anything, not to throw anybody under the bus. So if he can't do that himself, I think it's very smart.
Why do these guys do it? Like, what is the, why, like, he makes a ton of money, right? You don't make a ton of money doing the weekly radio thing. You get you get like a free car,
they'll give you a car or they'll pay you X amount for the whole year. What is the win in doing it? Just connecting with the fans, and that's all I can think of. You connect with the fans, but there's people within the organization that will come to you and ask you to do it. You don't just say, I'm going to do the radio show. You go to the head coach, you go to people upstairs, and you say, what do you guys think about this? And they'll give you the go-ahead to do it. Last thing, you're an LA guy. We're going to call it Barstow. Close enough, right? I mean, I'm kidding. You're an LA guy. I don't know. Did any of you guys get the paper? This is an honest question. Joy, do you get the newspaper?
No.
No. Do you get the paper? Now? Yeah.
Come on, man. Nobody gets the paper now.
I'm just asking.
Before, yes. Not now.
That was my thing with my dad. Like, this is how I grew up as a sports fan. I
used to get the paper.
Well, you're not getting the paper now with your son.
No, I probably should, though. No. I mean, he gets up and he watches Fox Sports 1, and he's like, why is Skip not like LeBron? Huh?
I still read.
No, I didn't say you don't. I think people read more now than they ever used to. You just find a different way.
Right.
You just online. I'm just asking if when was the last time you got a newspaper?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've never subscribed to the newspaper, but like I'm sure I bought a newspaper back when the internet was.
Okay, you've never subscribed? Ever?
No.
Have you ever subscribed to a paper?
No.
I have before. I think it's interesting because I didn't see this, but some of our staff did, and I saw it. Dave Coelho, who helps book this show, I saw he tweeted this yesterday. So in the Sunday paper in the LA Times, they have a pullout section, right? And it's the calendar section. And it was LeBron James, and it's a cool picture. It's a really cool picture. But it's LeBron James, and it's talking about all of his production company. But in his glasses, it says Hollywood, right? And this is yesterday, which is the day that they announced they're shutting down LeBron James for the rest of the year. And of course, this is coming off of Colin Cowherd, who is the ardent defender of all things LeBron James. Suddenly, I believe it was last Thursday, going like, I'm kind of done with LeBron. He's gone Hollywood. And now there's actually a photo of him with Hollywood put on his glasses. How would you characterize LeBron James' first season in the city you call home?
It wasn't very good for the Lakers. Expectations were high. I was one that, hey, we going to the playoffs this year, and it just didn't happen.
You did drop a wee, by the way. I want to point that out.
Yeah, I'm a Laker fan all the way through and through.
Are you going to call him a wee guy?
Huh?
Are you going to call him a wee guy?
He is kind of a wee guy. Yeah. Like, I just don't love the wee stuff.
It's a habit. You can't help it. I've been rooting for the Lakers when we were winning. Sadell 3, Nick Van Exel,
I love
Eddie
that
Jones.
team. That's my favorite team. That's my favorite team. It was the non-Magic. They got up 2-0 on the Phoenix Suns, and Nick Van Exel was nasty. Was killing people.
Yeah, I've been a Laker fan my whole life.
You want to prove you're a Laker fan under me? Sadell 3. Do you like to go right or left to shoot?
Oh, come on. I don't remember that. He's a righty. I'm going to say left.
He always went left.
Yeah.
Always. If he goes left, it was in. If he goes right, no shot. Okay, anyway. So who do you put the blame on?
It has to fall on LeBron. You're the best player on the team. When things go well, when you beat Golden State in the finals with Kyrie Irving hitting the shot, who I thought should have gotten MVP, but they give it to LeBron because you're the best player, That's okay. But when things go bad, you have to take the majority of the blame. Injuries now, if they don't have the amount of injuries that they have, I believe they're in the playoffs. But they had them. And so you have to put the blame on LeBron.
Well, my thing is, and Joey kind of disagrees with this, there's a story about how they had a players-only meeting and they talked to him about his body language. And for like one game, he had good body language, putting his arm around guys, but then he kind of went back to his body language. And that story in and of itself is a micro on the macro, which is whether it's throwing the ball off the backboard or looking disengaged when Luke's talking or not having bad body language or sometimes just kind of being out there defensively and kind of being lost or the commentary. Like it's all a little a factor of, look, I'm not saying that it's super easy and not incredibly frustrating. You don't feel like you're with a coach who you vibe with or players that you fit with, but that doesn't, when you hit adversity, like it displays exactly the type of dude you are. And instead of being the, hey, we're going to be fine, I got this, the commentary, the body language, it was all negative, and the team went south because of it.
Man, that's frustration. Like, people got to understand, he's a human being. When things don't go as planned, he's allowed to be frustrated. And if his body language shows it, what's wrong with that? That's frustration. That's a competitor that's upset that things aren't going the way he hopes or that he wants. And that's just frustration. Like, dude, you're a professional athlete. If my body language affects you, something is wrong with you. My body language should affect me, not you.
Yeah, but that's not the way it works in basketball.
It's any sport.
That's not the way it works in.
Why is it just bad? It should be any sport.
It is in football. If a quarterback comes over and a quarterback is sitting by himself and not listening to the coaches and is totally disengaged with what's going on, that affects people.
But it's a completely, football and basketball, they're completely different.
You just said it's any sport.
But you have to communicate. What I'm saying is a quarterback's not going to sit by himself because he has to communicate with the coach about what the defense is doing, what we're going to do the next drive. In basketball, give the ball to your best player, go make something happen.
No, it's not.
They don't do that?
No, you have to communicate where you're going to be, what you're doing. It's the exact same thing.
That's practice.
No, it's in games too. Because
if you're telling players what they need to do in an NBA game and defense, you're going to lose. You should already have exactly
TJ, I love you, okay? You know we're friends off microphone. But you could not be more wrong in front of this. Yes, you have rules. You have to make adjustments in terms of how we guarding ball screens, how we guarding different actions. Where are you going to be when I do this? When I zig, you got to zag. Right. There's engagement. When you're the best player on the team, when you're the best player on earth by many people's estimation, then yes, your body language does matter. The idea of my body language shouldn't affect you, that isn't the way it works in basketball.
I'm not
body
saying
language is it's not everything, but it's a huge portion of leadership. And when LeBron looks like he's frustrated, he's down, he's disconnected, of course the rest of the young players are going to follow his lead. That's what happens in basketball. That's what happens in sports.
Now, is this, like I said, it's frustration. If he's doing this every game, it's a problem. I'm sure it's not every game. If it's here and there, I don't see it as a big deal. But if it's constant, of course it's a big deal because these young players who idolize you, they look up to you.
Right.
And so they see this and they say, oh, man, this is a guy that I look up to doing this.
Yeah.
Now, if it's every blue moon, it's not a big deal. But if it's all the time, it is.
He's TJ Houshmandzadeh. He is a we guy. But I'm a we in team TJ. TJ, great stuff, dude. Let's get to Joy Taylor with the news.
No.